Hi, my name is Kasper BORMANS. I'm a PhD researcher at Maastricht University. This work is supported by Alzheimer Netherlands, and I will be presenting our study on using children's drawings as implicit measurements in future Alzheimer's research for the detection and alteration of negative stereotyping. Many children have grandparents with dementia. These direct confrontations with decline are reinforced by one-sided negative portrayal in the media, making youngsters internalize harmful images about old age and dementia. It is therefore vital for the well-being of future generations that education and research joins forces to clearly map and transform these toxic mental representations in children about old age and dementia. For that reason, we included 100 children from the Netherlands and Belgium, and we developed a educational trajectory of 16 weeks using positive interventions. So we trained the children to use a mobile application, but also a game of imagination and visualization exercises to come up with a positive communication style. They first practiced with their own classmates, and next we invited them to do these interventions with their own grandparents and the elderly they are unfamiliar with, involving dementia patients. So before and after the intervention, we wanted to use children's drawings to map their mental representations of old age and dementia. This is how we used children's drawings to do that. At start point, we gave the children four assignments. They had to draw an elderly person doing something. The next drawing is where he is very happy, unhappy, and their own grandparent. Then after 16 weeks, we wanted to do the same. We gave the children the same assignment. But as you notice, October 21 and February 22 is right before and after the fifth COVID peak. So unfortunately, our positive intervention program was derailed by these external factors of restrictions. So what we noticed in almost all drawings before and after the COVID peak was that all the figures over the whole line were remarkably smaller. So our hypothesis is that 16 weeks of COVID restrictions, children had to keep their distance, and they were told they were the source of contamination. So they had to keep their distance from their own grandparents, but also from the elderly in general. So when you keep your distance, the other is portrayed smaller. So it seems to be that the social distance is also visible in the children's drawings. Here you see the extra value of using implicit measurements, because it's unaware of their own perception. These children are not aware that COVID has this impact on how they see the elderly. But by using children's drawings, you get a deeper insight in the mental representations of children. So it's very valuable to include these kind of measurements also in future Alzheimer's research. In our work, we intend to turn the triangle. So this is a basic model. As a social scientist, I do not only focus on dementia as memory loss, but also as communication loss. It's not involving the individual patient, but also the network surrounding him. So when you focus on memory loss, we mainly focus on the past and the disorder, and you quickly end up in a dead-end street because there is no medication, as we all know. But if you turn the triangle and you focus on the future, and you give dementia patients, people with dementia, the elderly in general, something to look forward to, they are more happy and it's increasing their quality of life. Also, we have to see the person behind the dementia. And if you focus on dementia as a communicational problem, so not focusing on diminishing connection between brain cells, but the diminishing connection between human beings. It's what they call the shadow victims of the disease. As a family member, a caregiver, a friend, it's difficult to communicate with people with dementia, but it's possible. One of the basic laws in communication sciences is you cannot not communicate. So there are possibilities. With this model in mind, we intended to do the same positive intervention trajectory in a corona-free environment. So we did the same thing with other children, and we gave them the same assignment. So they had to make drawings involving the elderly, neutral, happy, unhappy grandparents. And then 16 weeks later, so March 22 till July 22, and there were in Belgium and the Netherlands very less restrictions. Children were able to go and visit their own grandparents. And we took a class of elementary school children to the nearby nursing home. So we connected the generations, and it was also visible in the drawings because over the line, on average, the pictures, the elderly, people with dementia, were portrayed 18% bigger. So it's the opposite way around, because during COVID, on average, all the elderly people were portrayed and depicted till up to 33% smaller. So this is a hopeful sign, because 16 weeks of positive interventions can have a beneficial impact on the way children see the elderly. And the distance seems to evaporate, and it's also possible to bring generations closer together. So our main conclusion of this work is that children's drawings are an underused instrument in Alzheimer's research to gain insight into the content of destructive stereotyping and the possibilities for change of these mental representations. The key insights: children's perceptions of the elderly with dementia are malleable and open to change, and positive interventions are crucial to counterbalance the negative impacts of COVID-19 or stigma in general. Thank you for your attention. Feel free to contact me at all times, and I wish you a nice conference.